Good afternoon, my name is Piergiorgio Salerno and today I will talk about my thesis project carried out with my professor Ernesto Iadanza. Our project focused on the use of the sentiment analysis to extract useful information from real-world data that can bring useful evidence for HTA. As we know, all the HTA agencies base their evaluation on medical technology by drawing up reports. A systematic search is carried out in primary or secondary literature or in gray literature to find evidence. These resources are based on observational studies or randomized controlled clinical trials. However, for some decades now, the idea has been gaining ground that RCTs are not enough to guide decision-making, as they are based on studies in controlled environment and selected patients. This is why we are increasingly thinking of combining the data with the real-world data. Real-world data means data collected outside the RCTs obtained from registered complaints, electronic health record service, or not institutional source, such as social media. From this tool, we can extract the real-world evidence. Thanks to the tool of data mining, and especially of text mining, it's possible to extract useful information from real-world data, and in particular, thanks to a subset of text mining, the sentiment analysis, we can extract the opinion that are expressed in this data. But what is an opinion? By definition, an opinion is a concept that one or more people have about facts, events, or situations. In sentiment analysis, an opinion is made of 5 different elements: an entity, its aspect, a positive or negative judgment on entity or its aspect, the opinion holder, and the time during which the judgment is made. As we can see, there are 2 levels of analysis. From the studies conducted with Prof. Iadanza, we were able to divide the sentiment analysis technique into 2 categories: lexicon-based approach and machine learning-based approach. From the studies, we then drove up a flowchart for each approach, the lexicon-based approach and the machine learning approach, which can be supervised or unsupervised. In the lexicon-based approach, used to evaluate the opinion of the documents, list of words contained in the text have been made. Each word is associated with a grade of polarity, most of the time taken from online lexicon, such as SentiWordNet, WordNet Affect, Sentinet. The number of positive and negative words is counted, and the total result is the sentiment of the document. In the machine learning-based approach, our unstructured documents are structured into matrices using models such as bag of word or term frequency document inverse document models, in which each cell of the matrix indicates the occurrence of the term in the examined documents. These are the data that will be put into our classifiers. The classifiers then will be trained to position this vector in a vector space in relation to the opinion that is expressed in the documents. In the unsupervised machine learning approach, the word-banding model is used, in which similar words of meaning are clustered. Recurring or convolutive neural networks are used to execute this approach. Thanks to a project promoted by the HTA division of the IFMBE, whose co-player were Professor Ernesto Iadanza, chairman of the HTA division of the FMBA, myself, and Julie Polisena, member of Canadian Agency for Drug and Technology in Health, Martina Andellini, and their professor Leandro Pecchia, it was possible to carry out a scoping review. But what is a scoping review? Scoping review is a type of knowledge synthesis that follows a systematic approach in order to evaluate a topic. The title chosen for the scoping review is the following: Sentiment Analysis, Methods Used to Evaluate Patients' Opinion and Experience in Treatment Received, reported on social media. The selected works were those published in the last 5 years, out of which we discarded the work that analyzed only techniques of sentiment analysis. We examined 1,600 articles. After an initial screening based on title and then on abstract, only 16 papers were analyzed in full text, most of them published in USA in 2017. From the result of the scoping review, it was possible to mark that 12 of the work analyzed performed the sentiment analysis techniques based on the lexicon in order to evaluate the opinion of caregiver, medical, and patients on the treatment received, 5 of which explicitly stated what type of preprocessing they used. Instead, 6 have performed supervised machine learning techniques, 4 of which have indicated which preprocessing they have used. Among the most used classifier, support vector machine and knife base. From this work, it was possible to extract an innovative framework to run sentiment analysis for medical devices, in which 4 support vector machine classifiers are used in hierarchical configuration. The first classifier assesses if the data speaks of medical device. The second classifier assesses if it's about advertisements. The third classifies if the opinion is neutral or not. The fourth classifier evaluates whether the opinion expressed is positive or negative. Conclusion, a scoping review was carried out to evaluate which and how much work was done by a sentiment analysis to analyze the opinion of patients, doctor, caregiver, and medical treatments. We propose an innovative framework to run sentiment analysis of a medical device. Our goal is to acquire as much data as possible to perform a sentiment analysis in deep learning techniques and to implement the sentiment analysis model to extract information derived from the real-world data and derive useful real-world evidence for HTA decision makers. Thank you for your attention.